Hello, everyone. This is Dave from Moonlight, where we're channeling the man in the moon. I'm kind of curious about the shutdowns. Keep in mind, I probably will get no advertising money from this because if you mention certain topics, YouTube is it will not give you any advertising money, and I kind of understand why. I think they're really just too busy to sort out the nonsense from the reality. But I just want to let you guys know you might not hear that much from readers on these topics because it is very problematic these days. Uh, let's see, but I think it's important for everyone to know. I want to know. So, Spirit, can you tell me about the shutdowns? Any information in general about the shutdowns? Mm. I get October. Stuff's really going to happen in October. That's just a month that came into me. I'm not necessarily certain if that's the end, but October comes up. So, Spirit, can you tell me, are these opening ups going to work? Some cities are opening up. I'm getting a no. I get a lightning bolt. And it's a serious, angry lightning bolt. Georgia is not looking good. Florida's looking pretty bad, but Georgia's looking like the worst. Texas, I see problems in Texas. One thing about this, I'm seeing, is that in Texas at least, it seems like the virus is going to the countryside. It's not focusing on the cities so much as almost along the coast. Now, keep in mind that this is a terrible mix for people who are bored because they've been sitting in shutdown for a while, and also those same people are, they're really antsy and they're really like the independent kind of people, and they don't live anywhere near a city, so they're not used to having people tell them what to do. That's especially a Texas thing, but this is a bad combination. Lots of loss of life. I get a count of almost 800,000 people, like 755, 780. Oh, it's just terrible. And a lot of it is sort of west of the Mississippi, mostly in the southern portion, although it seems to be going right up to the middle. And I do see just very heavy impact, just the economic impacts. Cities destroyed. This is not a happy reading. And okay, is there anything else we need to before we get on a lighter topic here? They are figuring things out, so that is one benefit. New York has figured out how to slow the virus. There's enough time that has evolved that we can see what's working and what is not working. California's shutdown orders came early; those seem to have worked. Another maybe a lighter side of what's going on here, because I do want to be constructive and not just worry everyone. The other thing is understand that now we're sort of, the country is being asked the question, do you trust the conservatives? Do you trust them to go out and go to a restaurant or not? When it's really about life and death, do you believe their nonsense stories? Do you believe these crazy conspiracy theory stories? Or are you really going to go, you know what? It's going to be really tough, but I'm going to have to, take my medicine and stay home. Um, when it comes to life and death, you will notice that certain people are becoming more realistic. It's an incredible irony is that people just didn't trust the government before Trump. The big bad government's doing these terrible things, and so and so's killing so many people, blah 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 blah. A lot of that was just fodder for Fox News. It's just nonsense. But now the situation is reversed. Now we're being asked, do we trust this crazy government, which is even contradicting itself? We've got one hand, we've got Trump doing these, oh yeah, stay-at-home orders, and then undermining the stay-at-home orders at the same time, so you can take credit for both. This is incredibly toxic. So it really is a question for each person. What, do I believe? Do I think it's safe? And it's not just safe for me, it's safe for others. We are being forced to evaluate information because now it is life and death, and we're also being forced to consider others. So keep in mind that there's a silver lining to this in that each of us is now being compelled to really think about others. We're making moral decisions every single day, and it's really hard. It's not just like giving up something. It is giving up our freedom, our freedom of movement, our jobs. I mean, it is really serious now. So understand that, give yourself a lot of space for sympathy here. You really have to pat yourself on the back and say, I'm doing my best. This is really hard. I don't like it, but I'm gonna show up here. And it's kind of you don't have a choice. You have to make a moral decision, and that's really what the universe is asking us to do. And some of those decisions are even not necessarily easy. Do I go meet my friend for a cup of coffee in the park? I mean, this is such a silly thing, but it really is a question of everybody's, and I'm not saying say no. It just, every single thing has to be evaluated in this kind of, through this ethical and life and death lens. So really, again, just understand yourself, try to understand yourself from a perspective of spirit, and give yourself as much credit as you can for doing the right thing in really difficult circumstances. So Spirit, what about these, Americans who've lost their jobs, and they don't know what to do. They're at home, but they can't go search for a job. What do I do if I'm worried about money? Or just my livelihood or jobs? It will really help if you meditate for a couple of minutes every morning. What you need are just a few minutes in the morning of space where it's worry-free. And if you do this, I would do positive thinking sort of stuff. I would really sit on the floor, and again, if it's possible, I always use a meditation pillow. I meditate, by the way, you guys, before every video. I always meditate so that I can be clear and get a clear channel, right? And that is something that all you can do insofar as you want, and you don't have to go channeling or anything. Just see if you can just find out a couple of minutes every morning where you're just, sitting on your own, and you don't have to do any particular kind of meditation. One thing I recommend now is envision something that you want and even write it down. Maybe you're going to change your job and you want a new job, and write it down and write what you want, and then go there for a couple of minutes. Really just feel yourself in the new job, in the new house, with the new partner, whatever it's going to be. Just go there for a couple of minutes. Because even if you don't believe in the positive thinking, I like to call it positive feeling, even if you don't believe in that, it really will elevate your mood during the day. It'll just kind of give you a break from the worry and stress. And this is horrible, you guys. We're living in a morgue. We're just worried every single day. You can't take it. You gotta find a couple of minutes in the day where it stops and where you're in a place of hope. And it's really difficult because you don't want to risk hope because you might be disappointed. Just put yourself there for a couple minutes and call it an experiment, right? See if your mood doesn't change during the day, and if you want to, a little bit better, adjust it. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes in the morning. Just put yourself in a space. Write something down. Put you in a space where you're getting it and experience the emotions. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I feel strong. Whatever those emotions are. Obviously, make sure they're positive, and just expand those for a couple of minutes. You will not be able to break free of the chains of the old world until you set out as a mission what you want your new world to look like. Worst comes to worst, you'll have peace for at least a couple of minutes. During the day, if the worry starts to creep in, go back to the first 5 minutes in the morning that you had where you were meditating, and just go back there. And you don't need to be perfect or anything. Just be like, yeah, I'm not going to think about that bill right now. It's just not going to work for me. It's there. Nothing I can do about it right at the moment. Worry isn't going to help. And if you really go there, I'm telling you, it works. It works. It works. And again, put it in the feeling mode. Don't worry about how you get the new job or the new house. Just put it in your heart and imagine you get it. This is another test that's going on. Some people will be able to radically change their minds and sort of move into a little bit more intuitive life. Some people will not, and they will be really struggling. Free your heart, and then it will free your mind, and it'll free space for you to really recreate it. And if in a good sense, this is an opportunity for all of us to sort of reimagine and remake our lives. When you're doing these things, by the way, it's okay to be somewhat selfish. It's okay to say, I want enough money so that I can take a trip every year. Fulfill your needs in your dream. Don't be, I only want a minimum wage job. Don't be crazy, but just write down what you want, really. And it's okay to ask for more money than you need so you can retire. There's nothing wrong with a bit of self-healing here and self-awareness and you can't help anybody until you're in balance with your own self. Don't win the lottery and then spend all the money on something terrible like an oil company. Give back when you can. That will balance things out. But many of you need to be told that you can ask for things for yourself. And yeah, it's great to think about others, but you won't be able to help them if they don't see you as an example of a person who helps themselves. Also notice that, whatever relationships you have, even if it's a relationship only to self and you live completely alone, now is the time. Now we have an opportunity to develop that. It might be that you have a child or a sibling or something like that, and now you kind of have an opportunity to really live that life. You will go throughout the rest of your life and you're going to remember this time. You're going to remember what you did. You're going to remember that profound things happened and that maybe you really got to know somebody better now than you would have. So understand that there are some things that justify this experience. What else? What else could people do? There's a bunch of jobs out there nobody's dreamed of yet. Okay, it's up to you to dream them, right? It's up to you to find one that you like. It's just, you might think of my job, okay? 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, it didn't really exist. And I was in exactly the same position as you are now. It was created by these sort of positive thinking, opening up and deciding, wow, how could I do this? How could I lead a spiritual life and still make a decent living? You can do this. Ask. One other thing that you can do is when you get in a state of meditation, maybe you do this for a couple of minutes, ask a question. Just ask. Just say, Spirit, why do I always feel uncomfortable at parties? Whatever. You're going to ask that question. Say it aloud. And if you can, say it in a kind of spiritual space. And then just listen. And see if Spirit delivers an answer to you. You might turn on the TV and hear the answer. Somebody might walk up to you and tell you the answer. So you really can start using these sorts of skills that help you gain. Because believe me, everybody's got a higher self. Everybody's got a spirit that will answer. Keep in mind, this might be a beginning to a spiritual journey, or it might be an extension of a spiritual journey, or it might be an expansion of a spiritual journey. Remember, sometime you're going to pass out of this lifetime, right? And you're going to go to the next one. And when that happens, you look back, and are you going to say, wow, I made so much money that year? That's not what you're going to say. You might say, I was a success, and that was great, and I lived my dream. But you're not going to be up there counting your dollars. You're not going to care about that. You're probably going to care most about your relationships with others and your relationship with yourself as you have grown. That's what's really going to matter in the end. And one thing about what's happening now is the material world, all this material stuff, the whole capitalist society we live in, it's been thrown on its side. You'll notice that, people have changed. You'll notice that, you're not hearing any Republican senators support Trump, right? Notice this is a big change. It might overwhelm you, and that's okay. But after the overwhelming experience, see what you can get out of this. How does it help you? And not just a job, but your whole soul. Could you find a job which embraces your soul? Maybe there's something new that you can do. Maybe I'm going to just give you one example. I have an amazing distant cousin. She's really smart and really successful in her life. She's out right now getting ventilators. So she's resourcing ventilators for her city to help others, right? And she has just the perfect skills for this. She's really smart. She's good at communicating, right? There might be a moment where you're like, I could really help others in my lifetime and do what I love and do meaningful work and still retire at 65. If that is your goal, write it down. The universe cannot help you unless you write it down. And the universe wants to know, right? And the more you experience that success for a couple of minutes every morning, the more you will see results. And I'll tell you for myself, I probably did 10 minutes of it 5 days a week tops. And results. I cannot overemphasize how successful I was. It doesn't matter who you watch for positive thinking. Abraham Hicks, some people don't like her. Just choose other people if that doesn't work for you. Who cares? Do it your own special way because it will have your own flavor. And don't use your brain. Use your heart. What else can we do to help people? The universe is trying to bring us back to a community, right? And for us to stop being so totally competitive. They're trying to bring us back to respecting the skills of every person in the room and working with everybody in the room and being a relationship to everybody in the room. That's what's really going on here. And the message is a strong one, right? We are being compelled to listen this time around. All right. Understand also, we're all in the same boat here. We're all trying to do it. So you're not alone. You really are in a community right now. All right. Thanks for watching.